Yeah, that works.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded, Woman of Success Without Limits. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, my listeners and my watchers. For those of you that are watching us on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, gracias por estar aquí. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell so that you never miss an episode, which drops once a week, and any other tips and tricks that I actually add to this platform. But today, ahora, mujeres hermosas chulas, on the Mujer de Exito Unbounded show, I have two incredible guests today. Erica Alfaro, both authors, and Elsa Sevilla, and both beautiful women, and women that are beautiful from the inside and the outside. And today I invited them because they are hosting an event and they're going to tell you all about it during the show. Así es que pónganse las pilas, tómense su cafecito, su tecito, and let's get going. I am so incredibly excited. Gracias por estar aquí, Erica y Elsa. ¿Cómo están? A ver,
Gracias, Marty. Muchas gracias que nos invitaste para platicar de este evento que estamos muy contentas, Erika y yo, que estamos trabajando esto. Erika es mi mentora, así que quién mejor que nos juntáramos y hiciéramos este evento para latinas en San Diego y mucho más, mujeres que quieren escribir su libro.
Hi Marti, es un honor estar aquí contigo. Muchas gracias por la invitación.
ay, gracias por estar aquí, mujeres hermosas chulas. Okay, so all of my listeners, this is a bilingual podcast. So I just want to remind you que a veces hablamos español, a veces hablamos inglés, y a veces hablamos Spanglish. So hopefully that you'll catch the drift. And I'm so excited. And let's get to it. I have some questions for you because we want to make sure that we have all the information. Elsa and Erica, what inspired you both to create this event, The Power of Story, and why did you choose KPBS studio space at the SDSU as the home of the Latina Author Showcase? Who wants
Well,
to answer first?
ok,
Okay.
inglés y en español, ¿verdad? Porque yo me siento mucho más cómoda en inglés, pero estoy practicando mucho más mi español. Queríamos hacerlo en KPBS porque salió esta oportunidad y la razón que queríamos hacer este evento es de que Erika tiene un grupo de autoras latinas increíble y yo soy parte de ese grupo. Entonces yo quería buscar un lugar y un día que nos pudiéramos reunir todas para promover nuestra historia y nuestros libros. Y esta oportunidad salió en KPBS. Le platiqué a Erika y me dice, sí, claro, hay que hacerlo. Pues ahí estamos las dos trabajando y trabajando, pero estamos muy contentas porque este evento va a ser un éxito y increíble, más con el apoyo de Erika que tiene tanta sabiduría y tanto conocimiento. Así que estamos muy contentas y dejo que Erika explique un poquito más de la parte de ella.
Vamos,
Yeah,
gracias.
gracias, Elsa. Bueno, yo voy a practicar mi inglés. According to statistics, less than 8% of authors are Latinos or Hispanic. And when I heard of that number, I decided to make it a personal mission to increase that number. And that's how I started my mentorship program. It initially started with 5 people, and now we have over 45 members from the writers group. Elsa is one of those members, and thanks to Elsa, we will celebrate our first generation of authors from our group. A total of 16 people have already published. Our mission is to empower those voices, but also increase the percentage of Latina speakers and Latina authors.
Yes, that is amazing. I love it. I love it. Me fascina lo que están haciendo, and it just goes so well with this podcast porque that's what it's all about. It's about leaving. For me, it's about leaving. My mission is to leave a legacy of Latina leaders behind me. with my coaching and with my podcast and with my writings and all of that. And you guys are like the epitome. So maybe I get an opportunity to join the authors group. That would be fun. All right. Okay, so let's go to question number 2. A ver. San Diego State University has a rich cultural footprint. It always has, even when I was there, right? So, how do you see this event amplifying Latina voices and shaping the next generation of storytellers on campus?
I think that's a great question, Marty, because we're all San Diego State alumni. So, what better place than to have it at San Diego State University? We've reached out to multiple groups of Latinas on campus. We reached out to the journalism communication departments, and not only at San Diego State, but the other universities and junior colleges. We want to invite Latinas who want to write their book and who have been dreaming about writing their book to come to the event. Tickets are going fast. They are on Eventbrite. They can follow Erika and myself on Instagram, where we're posting a lot of information about the event. But I think what's incredible about this is that we have such empowering, powerful stories that it's so important to share them on different platforms. And what better way than to do it in a book? I never imagined writing a book about myself, but thanks to Erika, who encouraged me to write my story, I did. And as a journalist and filmmaker, I've been, interviewing people for 35 years, hundreds and hundreds of people. And I knew that their stories were powerful, but I didn't think mine was. And so thanks to Erika, I published my book in June, Camera Ready. And I feel so empowered by telling my story because people tell me that they see themselves in my story. And I think that happens to a lot of us, right? First generation Latinas. And so it's so important to tell our stories. And that's why we want to, have a great event, offer a great event to all the people that come. It's all Latinas. We do have some gentlemen in there. So we want to shout out to our men who have joined, and we appreciate them. And so we encourage everyone to come to the Latina Authors Showcase and Book Fair at KPBS December 1st, starting at 6 o'clock. And thank you, Marty. You joined our group, so we're really happy about that.
Thanks.
Oye, Mari, bueno, contestando a tu pregunta ahora en español, San Diego State University es conocido por tener un porcentaje muy grande de estudiantes hispanos. Más de 36% de estudiantes en San Diego State son hispanos y estamos en la frontera. Así que poder dar esa representación y poder mostrarles lo que ellos son capaces de lograr es una de nuestras misiones más grandes. Aparte de que no tenemos mucha representación de autores y conferencistas, ellos van a tener la oportunidad de estar en un evento donde van a poder conocer personalmente a los autores y a las autoras que tienen un mismo historial que ellos. Eso es lo que es muy importante para nosotros.
Hermoso, hermoso. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing. I'm excited to be a part of it, actually. Me fascina todo lo que están haciendo. Okay, vamos con la tercera. This showcase spotlights Latina authors who write with heart, who write from the heart, que escriben con corazón, ¿verdad? Entonces, what impact, ¿cuál es el impacto that you hope these stories will have on the community members that are attending? ¿Cuál es el impacto que ustedes piensan que todas nuestras historias pueden impactar a los que están allí, a la audiencia?
Ok. Hay tres cosas muy importantes del impacto sobre la historia. Entonces, una de las cosas es que se van a ver identificados en las historias de otros autores que tienen una historia similar a la de ellos. La otra es de que se van a inspirar y ver que también es posible que ellos también pueden ser autores. Y la tercera, que es la más importante, muchas veces estamos buscando nuestro propósito de vida y no sabemos cuál es ese propósito, pero algo que yo siempre digo es de que no hay nadie más capaz que tú para ayudar a la persona que alguna vez fuiste. Eso es lo que las personas que van a llegar al evento se van a llevar con ellos, de que tienen un propósito de vida y que quizás el simple hecho de compartir sus historias pudieran ayudar a una persona que está en este momento en el mismo camino que ellos estuvieron cuando no sabían qué era lo que iban a hacer. Así que tiene tres misiones muy importantes y yo sé que mucha gente va a conectar con muchas de las autoras que van a estar ahí.
Perfecto, gracias. A ver, Elsa, now in English.
See, I did a project recently, a couple weeks ago, with Erika as well. But what I did is I did a in studio on camera interview with some of the authors.
Mm.
And what I discovered, again, they have incredible, powerful stories. But what Erika just said is so true. What I discovered at the moment of interviewing them was what they were doing now as adults, helping people. They're helping people like the person they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. So I was just so moved by the fact that what our experiences are, maybe it's a trauma, maybe it's crisis, maybe it's difficult things in our younger years, but we're able to surpass that, to survive that, and overcome it in the best way possible. But then as adults, mature adults, through our books, we're being able to help the people that we once were, which is exactly what Erika said. So to see that during this interview, we did 5 interviews, 5 different authors. That's exactly what it was, is we're helping people, basically our younger selves, right? Where we were many years ago. So it's so, so inspiring.
Wow. Yeah, it is. It's very inspiring. At some point, I will write my story that started when I was 6 years old. At some point, I will write that part. Maybe you guys can help me. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys are offering at this event, because from what I saw, and I told my husband, I said, "Oh, you gotta go," and he's like, "I'll support you. I'll be your wagon man and all of this stuff." And I said, "Okay, you buy a ticket and you get 2 coaching sessions, Dad." And he's like, "Oh, I like that." He goes, "I'll just do the coaching part." And I said, "No, no, dear, you have to help me here." But anyway, you're offering 2 free webinars. You're offering media training with Elsa and storytelling with Erica, exclusively for those of you that are attending this I'm going to say semi-private, because we only have a certain amount of tickets and certain amount of space. So this event exclusively for the attendees. So why were these trainings important to you guys to be able to include them? And what can the participants expect to gain from these? Elsa? Elsa, you go first.
I'll go
Okay.
ahead. I'm trying to let Erika go, but that's okay. So, this a great idea came up with, I've been wanting to do media training for such a long time, because I know there's a need, especially in our Latino community. I was in news for 20 years. And so it was always challenging to reach out to certain communities. And so I knew the need was there. And so teaming up with Erika, and I'll let Erika talk about the storytelling webinar, but we both felt that it was so important. These are key, essential skills that people can use, can learn. And that's why we wanted to provide this webinar for the people that attend the Latina Showcase Book Fair at KPBS.
And that we are, so by doing that, we're sort of expecting that maybe the turnout of the attendees will be people that are interested in either becoming an author, or, just kind of toyed with the idea, but said, no, it's not for me. And is that true?
Yes, yeah, right on point, Marti. That's exactly the people that we're targeting. We're targeting those ones that have in their heart becoming an author, but that they don't have an idea of where to start. And for that reason, we're providing these webinars for them because we want them to have the tools to at least get started.
Mm.
And as an author, you're also an author, and you understand that many times the hardest part is giving the first step. And then, how do I tell this story? That is the reason why I'll be giving the webinar in storytelling. That way, we can provide so the attendees, besides meeting the authors, they can also learn how to tell their stories. Elsa, she's an expert in her field, and she will provide that is needed for authors to be able to be successful when they go in live interviews. They should be able to be prepared for those situations, and that is the reason why Elsa will be providing this webinar so that they can take advantage of two things at the same time: learn how to tell the story and also take interviews.
That's so amazing, and I hear you. When I wrote my first book, I I was guided. It was kind of cheating. I am an empath and I pray a lot and I meditate every single day, have for a long time. And so I prayed and then I got guidance. And my first book was written in 48 hours nonstop because I was being guided. But as I was just writing, and you should have seen me. I was back in the day, I was writing and tossing the pages, and my daughter was running around and capturing the pages as they were doing. As they were coming out of out of the press here, right? And but I remember that so getting into my head. If I allowed myself to get into my head, I don't think that I would have finished, right? And so that's a lot of what I do in my business coaching is I teach people how to get out of their head, drop from their head to their heart so that they can let that go in. But I remember asking myself, well, I'm writing everything. How am I going to put it together? Like, what's going to be chapter one? What's going to be chapter two? And all of that. And it just all came together. But it's still a journey. It's still a journey. So yeah, what you guys are sharing is amazing, and it is so incredibly important, right? Because then there's a lot of us out there that think, oh, I'm not a good writer, or I'm not good in English, or I wasn't good in reading, or I wasn't good in this. And I can tell you from being an educator, it doesn't matter what you were good at or what you weren't good at, right? Because that has no bearing over your life today and the story you have to tell. Because I think we're all good storytellers. We just need to learn how to be able to share it, right?
Yeah, and I think that with Erika's mentoring, it was so much easier. Looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was easy. But that's because I had a mentor. And
Mm,
Erika is so organized, so patient, and so detailed. It made it so easy. But if I didn't know Erika and she wasn't my mentor, I didn't know where to start before I met Erika. I was like, where do I start? How do I even begin? And then how do I even get published? So Erika, having gone through it,
yeah.
was able to help guide me and the rest of the group of authors that have already published their books. So she made it super easy. Without her help, I know that I wouldn't have started and I wouldn't have published. I would have been still thinking like, oh, one day I'll write my book. One day I'll write my
Mm.
book. And I actually was thinking about writing a book for the last 17 years on historic places,
There you
which
go.
is the show that I produce for KPBS. But when I met Erika, she's like, no, you need to write it about your story. And then I'm like, okay, it took me a little while, but I did it. And then it took me about 6 months to write it. And I was going 10 hours a day, almost every day. But without her help, I don't think I would be where I am right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elsa. Y me gustaría agregar un poquito en eso, Marti. Muchas veces nos da miedo contar nuestra historia, pero eso es lo que realmente nos conecta con otras personas. Y la razón, le doy gracias a Elsa por confiar en mí, pero la razón por la que ella confió en mí es porque conoce mi historia y sabe que soy una persona que tuvo muchas dudas y muchos obstáculos y que también muchas inseguridades. Y eso es lo que hace que otra persona confíe en ti. Por eso cuando Elsa dijo, yo quiero escribir sobre, ella quería escribir sobre otras cosas, le dije, bueno, vas a escribir otro libro, no va a ser tu primer libro, pero primero la gente conozca esa resiliencia que tú tienes.
Mm.
La historia de Elsa es muy poderosa y cuando tienes la oportunidad de leer su historia, te das cuenta que es una persona que nos le dieron las cosas gratis, que ella tuvo que luchar para llegar donde está. Y eso es lo que hace que otras personas confíen en ti cuando te pueden conocer de esa manera.
Es cierto, y ahorita dijiste algo que tuvo Elsa que luchar, ¿verdad? Y ese es lo que necesitamos. ¿Cómo me voy a entregar a la lucha para que esa lucha no sea un obstáculo, ¿verdad? Porque si nos damos por vencidas, pues nunca llegamos a donde queremos llegar, ¿verdad? Pero la lucha, cuando se nos hace difícil, como decimos en inglés, we take the easy road, paz. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll put it away. I'll come back to it. Al ratito vengo, al ratito lo saco, al ratito. Pero parte de ser autora, que me imagino que ustedes ya lo saben, es de ser constantemente consistente, ¿verdad? And so I believe that that's important. Gracias por eso. Ok, vamos a la siguiente pregunta. Let me ask you guys, because I love to hear this. What was the biggest challenge that you guys faced in putting together a book fair and showcase of this scale? And yet, what has been the most rewarding part so far? Anyone?
I think having a great team around you allows you to be your best self, right? And so between Erika and I and the group of authors, it has been a wonderful experience. And having the technology, the software that we have today, I think it's all coming together very, very nicely. We've had a great response. We have almost capacity for the author tables that we're providing. I think there's 2 spaces left. And then tickets are going really fast. So we're really excited about that. We're getting a lot of support again from that author group that are also, sharing on social media. It's a great event. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to get a lot. And so I think overall, it's just been a wonderful experience.
Yes, tenemos un grupo muy maravilloso, creo que uno de los problemas fue que las mesas se llenaron muy rápido y no tenemos suficiente mesas para autores. Como dice Elsa, solamente tenemos 2 espacios, que es literalmente una sola mesa dividida en dos. That's a good thing, but then not being able to have more authors, it could be a problem. A good one. Y otra cosita es planear un evento de esta magnitud requiere mucha planeación, requiere marketing, estar constantemente promoviendo el evento, pero estoy muy contenta que Elsa y yo lo estamos haciendo juntas porque a la misma vez estamos aprendiendo mucho, estamos viendo maneras de cómo hacerlo mejor, qué tipo de marketing vamos a tener en nuestras redes sociales. Elsa ha estado haciendo un flyer individual para cada autor. Entonces, más que nada es darte cuenta que planear un evento grande de esta magnitud no es algo fácil, requiere mucha planeación, mucho trabajo, mucho estar de acuerdo. A veces Elsa y yo tenemos diferentes ideas, pero una tiene que ceder y la otra, pero de una manera muy respetuosa, donde decimos, ok, vamos con tu decisión o vamos con esto. Y de esa manera trabajar juntas y saber que las dos tenemos una meta en común. Aunque cada una tenga una manera diferente de pensar, las dos tenemos la misma meta que es dar lo mejor a los autores y también a los que van a asistir.
Sí, qué hermoso. I love the answer. So it's so important. Yeah. So, lo que están haciendo ustedes es lo que yo siempre digo. Juntas siempre podemos más, ¿verdad? Juntas podemos más. Es mi hashtag, juntas podemos más. ¿Por qué? Porque colaborar,
Colaboramos.
collaboration.
Sí,
It
colaboramos.
doesn't. My, I was like, I sometimes, do that, right? Anyway, collaboration over competition is what I really spout about every day because we see so many people and that competition that we feel, that feeling inside when we see somebody else succeed is what is blocking us, that envy, that tinge of jealousy, whatever it is, it's blocking us. But if we learn to work together, and by doing what you guys are doing, you're learning to work together. And we as authors are learning to work together, based on you, because as authors, I don't know about you guys. You guys are working, you're in at state together. But people like me that aren't at state are feeling that feeling of, ooh, I'm a solo author, estoy solita, nadie me ayuda, oh, woe is me, nobody's going to care if I don't finish my book, ni modo, and it'll get done. And so having your group and doing what you guys are doing and sharing it with us, the authors, is really something that I'm so incredibly grateful for each of us, for each of us and for you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the service that you guys are giving because it's amazing. El servicio que nos están dando es increíble y muchas gracias por eso. So thank you so much. Now, what you didn't answer the
Marty,
second part.
oh, go ahead.
The second part was, what has been the most rewarding part so far?
Yeah, well, I think the most rewarding part is to see the excitement of the authors from our group and outside our group, and to see the collaboration, to see how many people are getting together. Like you said, in the past, the journey of an author is very lonely, but it doesn't have to be like that. And to see many authors coming together to help each other, to cheer on each other, and to hold each other accountable, I think that is the most rewarding part for me.
I think that the group that Erika has created, the group is incredible. We're super supportive of each other when somebody has an event, when somebody is a speaker at an event, if they're just published, if they just launched their event for their book, we all cheer each other on. And I feel like I'm teasing, but I feel like we have this love fest going on in our WhatsApp group. And every Tuesday when we get together, congratulations to so and so. They just published their book. They just launched their event to publish for their book and book signing. Or I got a call to be a keynote speaker here because when you publish, then people start calling you to speak. And so, what I really find so rewarding, especially for me being a small business as well, like Erika said, I felt very lonely, working on my own. But the group that Erika has formed, I think that every author would say the same thing. We feel so supported. We feel that we're learning from each other. And it's like, oh, how did you do this? This was very successful. Can you teach me what you did here? And so the camaraderie, the support of each other, there is no jealousy because we're all happy for each other because one or the other is having a great event. And so it's that support that has been the most meaningful for me. So I really, really appreciate that.
Mm, that sounds so amazing. And like I said before, gracias por todo lo que están haciendo. Okay, now we are on our final question, at least for me right now. For mujeres who dream of becoming published authors, who want to write a book themselves, who feel like they have a book inside of them, what is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you at the beginning of your own storytelling journey?
I feel that Elsa's looking at me. Um, I think that the biggest advice that well, if I could talk to Erica, who was starting her journey as an author, I will tell her that her journey will be lonely, but there's a reason for that because that will inspire her to want to help others and to create a community where the journey of an author no longer is lonely. And so I think that what I will tell younger Erica is, hey, there's a reason why you feel so lonely in this journey is because one day you will have a community that will support each other. And so I think that's my biggest takeaway as a new author. I published my book almost 6 years ago, 5 years ago, but I still feel like a new author, but now I have a beautiful community.
Ah, amazing.
I think that, having published just a few months ago in June, there's so many things to tell people who want to publish their story. For me, the most empowering is that everyone has a powerful story, and what a great platform to tell your story in a book for your family, for your friends, for your community. For me, as I mentioned, I didn't want to write a book about myself. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I wanted to write about historic places and the project that I worked on for 12 years. That's a passion of mine. It's not only historic places, but it's storytelling, and those are my passions. And so I kept refusing to write it, but I did. And what I discovered is that not only do we all have a powerful story, but it's the impact that we bring to other people, not knowing it sometimes, is incredible. We're uplifting our community. We're breaking barriers in publishing. Only less than 8% of Latino authors are published in the US. And since I've been a young kid, I've always wanted to outdo whatever statistic was there about Latinas or Latinos. It's like, we got to do better and we got to do better. So I say connect yourself with a good community like Erica's. And she does mentoring. And so also get a great mentor, get the information, and start writing. Just get it done. Before you know it, you're done with one chapter, chapters, 10 chapters. And in a few months, you'll be done with the book. And it's the most wonderful feeling when you're done with that because you put so much into it. And when you're done with it, it's just an incredible feeling. But then when people read it and they see themselves in the story, it's another wonderful, wonderful experience. So I say just get it done.
Yes, hay dos cositas que me gustaría agregar para esas personas que están pensando si escriben un libro o no. Tu libro es tu legado, es eso que va a vivir después de ti por muchos años. Y aparte de eso, escribir es algo que te ayuda a sanar. Es
Mhm.
muy hermoso, muy hermoso. Entonces sería por esas dos razones. Escribir te va a ayudar a sanar y tu libro va a ser un legado para futuras generaciones, incluso cuando tú ya no estés aquí.
Sí, es cierto. Es algo muy importante. Hace muchos años, cuando empecé a escribir este libro, yo estaba pasando por mi primer libro, yo estaba pasando por algo muy fuerte, ¿verdad? Entonces, my spiritual advisor, Cuauhtémoc de México, me dijo, tienes que escribir, tienes que dejar, porque todo lo que estás pasando es sumamente importante para que alguien más sepa que no están solitos, ¿verdad? And I thought he was crazy. I thought, what the? I'm really going to tell my story, bud. You know, I was like, but he just kept on insisting and insisting. I was like, but it's not my story, but I can kind of liken it. So I actually did not write my story, but I did in a sense. So yeah, so my story, my first book has a little story behind it and why I chose that one. But you know, I would love to be part of the group. El grupo, la comunidad, en verdad, porque juntas podemos más. And maybe, Erica, you can pull the story out of me because that's what I feel like. It's like, oh my God, I don't know about you, Elsa, but it's like pulling the
It was
words
hard.
out. Yeah.
It was really hard because it's very emotional. I had to write about the trauma that I faced when I was 5 years old. So can you imagine? It is hard to talk about your story, but it is
Hmm.
also very empowering and very therapeutic. I was like amazed at how much that helped me. And so I feel so much more lighter that I am already rewriting my book for volume 2 and putting in so much more that I was not brave enough to do the first time, but I
Ah,
will the second time. But I also think that this is such an important event. The
yeah.
Latina Authors Showcase Book Fair at KPBS, December 1st, starting at 6 o'clock. Go to Eventbrite to get all the details for tickets. But the thing is, they'll be empowered, they'll be energized, they'll be motivated to start the process. And when you're supported by a community, by mentors, by people who have done it before, it is so much easier to do it that way. So I really encourage everyone to go to the event, not just to be at the event, but to learn all this information and to finally write your book.
Right. And is the event on December 1st or December 3rd? I think it's December 3rd.
December 3rd. Did I mention December 1st? It is December 3rd on Wednesday, starting
Okay.
at 6 o'clock. Yes.
Okay.
So December 3rd. Thank you, Marty.
I just wanted to make sure because I was like, oh no, that's less time I have to get my stuff together. But I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Is there
Are
anything
you
else?
guys still there?
Yeah. Did we lose you?
Mhm.
Oh, there she is.
Muchísimas gracias, Marti, por esta oportunidad de platicar contigo. Y también algo que quiero agregar es de que para las personas que asistan a este evento, yo les voy a dar un cupón de descuento para si en el futuro quieren tomar uno de mis talleres o quieren tomar una de mis mentorías, lo pueden aplicar como un descuento para que eso que invirtieron por el ticket se les pueda descontar en mi coaching session y lo pueden usar en cualquier momento del 2026.
Wow. That's amazing. Mujeres hermosas, chulas, mujeres de éxito unbounded. ¿Verdad? It is, you guys are the epitome of the title of my show, right? Because you guys are definitely mujeres de éxito, and unbounded means without limits, right? So you guys are pulling out all the stops, creating an event that perhaps, a few years ago may not have been coming to fruition, but now you guys are doing it and you're doing it together. And that's what I love to see. Personally, I love to see collaboration. I love to see Latinas helping Latinas, even if that means that my success is behind your success, because we're willing to help as long as our success is first. But we always need to understand that whether our success is first, second, or third, it matters not. What matters is the journey that you're helping, that you're leaving a legacy, you're creating a roadmap for others to follow. And you two are doing it. You guys are trailblazers, and I appreciate everything you're doing. So gracias por estar aquí. Thank you, everybody. Remember, if you're watching us on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an opportunity to get some free coaching from my guests and from myself. Tips and tricks, I call them. And if you are listening to us, wherever you listen to your favorite shows, remember that in the show notes, there will be a link as well for these ladies for the event that we are speaking about. So thank you. Gracias por estar aquí. And as always,
Gracias.
have a beautiful day. Namaste, mujeres hermosas.
Gracias, Marti.
Gracias, Martí. Gracias.